you're welcome to the show. Views and thoughts where we table issues on the table of analysis. On today's edition, I'll be having a guest here. He's Dr. Kingsley Eyinna Eneremadu. He's lecturer in the Department of Business Education, and we will be talking about the high cost of living and its effect on the Nigerian populace, especially in Imo State. Dr. Kingsley Eyinna Eneremadu is the lecturer in the Department of Business Education, Owerri IKOKU Federal College of Education, Owerri. He holds PhD, MSc, MBA, BSc, HND in marketing, PDE in education. He has written, contributed to, co-authored and published various online and printed books and chapters, some which include Influence of Marketing in Reduction of Poverty and Hunger, Principles of Marketing, Introduction to Marketing Education, Fundamental of Entrepreneurs, Business Growth and Creation, New Basic Marketing SS3, New Basic Business Studies JSS 1 to 3. Dr. Eneremadu has 16 national and international journals to his credit, published both online and offline. He has attended and actively participated in several conferences. He was the Secretary, Local Organizing Committee 2019 Conference of School of Vocation and Technical Education, Owerri IKOKU Federal College of Education, Owerri. He belongs to professional bodies, some of which include Institute of Industrial Administration of Nigeria, National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, NIMN, Institute of Entrepreneur, IOE. He has been honored with Ezinwa Awards by Catholic Women Organization, St. Thomas Catholic Parish, Izudu. Merit Award by Vocational Education Students Association, UNN. Award of Excellence by Business Education Students Association, Alvan, and the Best Lecturer of the Year 2021 by National Association of Health Education Students, NAHAS, Alvan IKOKU Federal College of Education, in affiliation with University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Associate Fellow, Institute of Industrial Administration of Nigeria, an award of commendation by Bauchi State NYSC Board for outstanding discharge of its duties and undertaking a personal community development CD projects of building a modern bus stop in Gambari community, mounted a signpost in all the schools within Gambari community in Tafa Balewa local government area, and had a wonderful relationship with the community members. In addition, the award provided the opportunity to enjoy a cocktail party with the state governor of Bauchi State at that time, His Excellency Dr. Adamu Muazu. He has several field experiences in practice of marketing, as he worked in many organizations as sales executive and sales manager. He was the pioneer elected financial secretary of the Student Union Government SUG Federal Polytechnic Oku, Anambra State, where he displayed his outstanding qualities in leadership and accountability. He is the board chairman of Kara Development Foundation, a reputable non-governmental organization, NGO. President, Marketing Class Set of 2001 Federal Polytechnic Oku. President, St. Philip Prayer Group 1 of the Catholic Men Organization, CMO, Maria Assumpta Cathedral Parish, Owerri. And Treasurer, Electricity Committee Area A Zone 1 and 2 Neighborhood Association. He was also the pioneer Secretary General of Ihimba 8th Grade Ezudu in Ezinite, Mbise. Dr. Eneremadu Kingsley is a hard-working, peace-loving person, a goal-getter, a good team player, and an honest, patriotic citizen of Nigeria. His interest is in consumer behavior, entrepreneurship, and good governance. He loves reading, writing, teaching, traveling, and lending a helping hand at any opportunity. He enjoys old school highlight music for relaxation and a good plate of fufu and vegetable soup. He is happily married to Nnenaya, and their marriage is blessed with 3 children. The show is Views and Thoughts. We'll be right back. Your views and thoughts are formidable. views and thoughts forms the ideology. Your views and thoughts marries our daily living with a resounding progress. Your views and thoughts says a lot about the people. And hey, I am Ugo Pluto Oba, and this is the forum, Views and Thoughts. Okay, let's move into what we have today. High cost of living. What does it mean? High cost of living.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. It's my pleasure to be here.
You're welcome.
And to do justice to this topic we are looking into this afternoon, high cost of living and its effect in Nigerian populace or citizens, especially that of Imo State. You see, when we talk about high cost of living, it means that people are no longer easily get things they usually afford to do. So what it means also is that prices of goods, commodities are on the high side. So only few can have access to it. And also you should also remember that prices of high or standard of living is measured on the price of goods. And these prices of goods are the principal determinants of how we can say this person is living above the standard of living or this person is living below. So when we talk about high cost of living, we are looking at that one, the basic necessities are on the high side. And when we talk about basic necessity, we are talking about feeding is on the high side, the cost of living. We're also talking about the cost of accommodation, or what we talk about, or what we say house rent. We also talk about that access to medical care are on the high side. And we also say that high cost of living also shows that accessing educational facilities are no longer easy as it used to be. So when we look at about all these varieties or about these variables, we could understand that their prices are high, especially in Imo State. And remember also that Imo State has an estimated population of 1.4 million people according to National Bureau of Statistics, and the fourth most expensive states in Nigeria after Abuja, Lagos, and Rivers. The next is Imo State.
Deep revelation.
So looking at all these things, you see that prices are on the high side here in Imo State.
Okay, I am so surprised you haven't mentioned Imo State as the fourth amongst the list. But then, before we start digressing, looking to other areas, what are the effects itself of high cost of living?
So when we say the high cost of living, yes, with the variables I have listed above, you could also find out that these things had effect. What has it resulted? The high effect in prices of goods has resulted, one, increase in armed robbery or other criminal activities like kidnapping. That is why you hear so many people talking about today, the social person has been kidnapped, this social person has, and a lot of people also involved in cybercrime and all the rest of them. Two, you could also know that the prices to afford education is also on the high side. It's no longer easy. That will also reduce the number of people getting interested in education or enrolling in education. The next point there is increase in child trafficking and labor. A lot of parents today, in order to meet the challenges the high cost of living has posed on them, they want to labor their children. Some of them will go hawking around and other things in order to meet the family needs. It has also moved us to what we call get-rich syndrome, get-rich-quick syndrome. And that is why you have seen some other crimes. You see somebody who come to open place and get naked and all that. Okay. You know, all those things are effects. What? Because they are doing all these things in order to make sure they meet up with the house rent, the education of their children, the health facilities, feeding, even clothing. So this now has made them to engage in one activities or the other, which has resulted to which have given a bad result on the society, especially in Imo State. Okay. Another area also is the insecurity, because people are no longer feel free. Things are very high. They can take any risk in order to get what they need.
Okay. Okay, now it's very unfortunate, but then you see, when you look at other states like Lagos, it's very, very important to understand that the cost of living there is way low. You know, it's minimal in a way, and likewise other states as well. But when you look at Imo State, just like you said, it's something else. So now, what could be what could be the reason why goods and services, you know, in Imo State is way different from her counterparts, other states? You know, other states, like a bag of rice, I think you get a bag of rice for 20-something thousand, but this size almost 10,000, thereabouts. You know, everything just skyrocketing. Why is it like that? Why is Imo State like that? Okay, let me just break it down. This morning, somebody was complaining about a commuter was complaining about from World Bank to Control 100 naira, which isn't supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be 50 naira. So, and then now the person was drawing analysis. Was comparing now. You know, like in Anambra, such distance is 30 naira. This place 100 naira, and they were all complaining and all of that. And that the funniest part of it is that when these things happen, nobody talk. They just absorb it. They just people. I mean, Nemo, like, they just keep quiet. Nobody protests. Nobody talks about it as though they're very comfortable with the system. Whereas they're complaining. So why is it like that? Why does the price of goods and services in Nemo State just skyrocket just like that?
You see, yes, because the cost of living is on the high side. The cost of living is on the high side. Therefore, people need to meet up. So in doing that, or in saying that, one of the basic things that makes cost of living in Imo State is the clustering of the higher institutions in Owerri town, the state capital. Okay, you find out that 5 basic higher institutions we have are all centered around Owerri, the state capital. Unlike that of Edo, in Edo State, Auchi Polytechnics is far away from the Benin City. That of Eboma, University of Eboma, that is the Edo State University, is in Eboma, far distance. But you find out that here in Imo State, all the higher institutions are van, naked, all this are within the Owerri. Even we talk about, we can say that Futo is in Ihiagwa. But we talk about that somebody can be attending school at Futo from Ikenebu. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. So because, like now we said, we pointed out that house rent is on the high side. Because a family man, a landlord may build, after building a house, he said, I'm renting this house and so amount of money. A family man could come, because you know what our salaries are here. I want to rent this house. And you find out, discover that the man has priced this, and the landlord said, this is the price of the house. The man said, I can afford this. A student from nowhere can come and comfortably pay for that house rent. In doing that, he has pushed the man away. So, but assuming these schools are decentralized, like we talk about all these schools, maybe they are in Mbise, they are in Owerri East, they are in Ngopala. So all these things will reduce. Then another thing that also makes these things very high, like you said, the transportation. You could also remember that up to today, if you go to Onitsha, Anambra State, there are places that you can enter buses 20 naira, 30 naira, even in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. But here, hardly will you get a drop 100 naira. Most times on this Christmas, we will see some drivers, they will be charging anyhow, and nobody talks to them. The union says nothing. The government does not say anything about that. So because you know that a man, a shop owner, or a shop owner who rented a house at a higher price, he would also want to make sure that by next year he also pays. So he add all these costs of transportation, costs of house rent, will also give him the total cost he will sell his good or item. So in doing that, our price will be higher than that of other states. You also discover that also there is what we call abnormal gain. Abnormal gain in business. So a normal gain is that gain you will make. Take for instance, before you arrive at the price of goods and services, you add the total cost of production and add what we call little markup.
Yeah.
So for instance, assuming it took you 100 naira to produce an item, you said, okay, because I'm not Father Christmas, I need to make profit, because the sole aim of an entrepreneur is profit making, the reward. So you said, okay, I will now charge, add markup of 30 naira. So the price of good now will be 130 naira. Having added that cost of production, which is 100 naira, and that of the markup 130. It's a normal day. But you discover here in Imo State that people are no longer like that. They want to use every advantage they have to victimize consumers. For instance, you see here that fuel is going to be increased, and so everybody will adjust the pumping price. Definitely, it will narrow down to the woman in the village. It will narrow to this. It will narrow to that. And most times, even the bus taxi drivers, they will see a person carrying farm produce. They will charge that person higher than the normal fare. They should have charged per head. So that woman paying higher for transportation, when she gets back to her shop or her working place, she need to add all these things, and this thing now become a price of that commodity. So it is good for us to make profit and let it be abnormal, because all these monies you make anyhow and all these things, at the end of the one thing will just come up and take it away from you. And also another reason why prices of goods are higher in Imo State than other states is insecurity. People are afraid today to go to farm places.
Okay.
People are no longer interested in going to a distance farm. They are farm because of insecurity. Okay. They have resolved to work within the farms, within where they are living, in order not to lose their life.
But so the production becomes
reduced. Production has reduced. As production has reduced, it has also reduced the supply of goods and services. Mm-hmm. So the little one in the market will be chasing a lot of consumers. Because if the woman says, I'm selling this Ugo at 100 naira, and some other persons, so that when she prices it at 100 naira, some other person will come and buy it. Another example I want to cite is the fufu. There's this one that wrap in waterproof.
Yeah.
Go to Aba and buy fufu of 50 naira. Go to Onitsha and buy that of 50 naira. Go to this other Ebonyi State and buy that of Imo State. You see that our own is very little.
Very little.
And it keeps depreciating, it keeps reducing the prices. It keeps reducing the size. So that will also say, just buy one, just go to this nearby states, buy one, buy 50 naira. The other day my wife went to the market to buy, and discovered that they no longer at World Bank market. They no longer say 50 naira now. They can say 15 for 1,000.
For 1,000. Can you imagine?
So all those things are what is making it
Okay. Having stated all this, which means from my own perspective, right now, I don't know if it will conform with yours, meaning that there should be a regulatory body from the government also, because this is something that's affecting the people. And when you talk about the people, you talk about leaders, people leading them. Don't you think that it's high time that the government should set up an agency or something to look into this matter? Because from what you said, some people are attaching greed into this.
Yes.
Just want to maximize profit, just like that, to the detriment of the people. So do you think that the government also should come up with some people that will check and see to the activities of these people, making life difficult?
That is very certain. Government owns every person. And that's why we said a governor is the chief security officer. He's the number one citizen of a state. Like in Lagos State, the issue of house rent. People clamor on it, people were crying over it. Because when we are talking about Lagos being one of the expensive states, don't look at Oshodi, don't look at Morocco. Think about Island. Think about Victoria, this island, and all the rest of them, and what people paid. Government of Lagos has said that no, people are no longer going to charge their annual house rent annually. They are resolving to go into months. But here in Imo State, it's covered that people can still collect 2 years. So government can also call a consensus with the landlords and the tenants. They can have a meeting, can have a conference. How do we narrow this thing down? How can we be able, because all these things, the prices you pay in the shop, the prices you pay in your office, all of them contribute to the price of a product. So they can come on the sitting table to say, let us do this. If you reduce house rent drastically, it's going to reflect in other areas.
Okay.
Also, we could also, one of the other solution or the possible, solution to all these effects could also be that let us have a true diversification into agriculture.
Okay.
Because what I'm seeing now is we have not even diversified in agriculture.
Okay. Because
the national budget says, or the UN recommendation says 10% of the total budget will go to agriculture. But how many percentage do we have in agriculture? We're also talking about diversifying. We are just paying lip service. Because when we want to really dwell well in it, it will show. You see that when you go to the street, there is nowhere now, where you can say, I want to go into mechanized agriculture, I want to hire 5 tractors. Nowhere in Imo State. I am quoting myself because I have undergone that research.
Okay.
You can say, okay, the government says people want to diversify, you want every person to go into agriculture. Where are the crops? Improve varieties. Where can we get it? It could be on daily announcement. Go and get your fertilizer this place. Go and get your improved variety this place. Go and empower also people that really dwelled or did or studied on agriculture. These are the areas government can come in. Another area government can also come in, and also individual. Because let me say, when we diversified through agriculture, we have what we call value chain in agriculture.
Okay.
Where we say that this point of production, a lot of people are there, it will now move into processing, a lot of people are there, branches, it also move into the users. That's what these factories that are using it. They can use it for pharmaceutical purposes, they can use it to make bread, they can use it other one. So until we get into those areas, we can say we have truly diversified in agriculture and make all these farm implement available for the farmers. Then another area we should also look at is the enabling environment.
Okay.
It's the duty of the government to provide that enabling environment. And when we talk about enabling environment, we are talking only, for instance, in these farm lands that are far from people's house. Government we say that they are kidnapping people here and there. There are some forests, thick forests, that we know that all these places are the hideout of these people. Government can go and create roads. They can use their bulldozer, cross, isolate the place into roads. So from time to time, the security force men can go into those areas on patrol. For instance, those empty lands in Olapo, Abala, Even on Zarebe, that hill, if you're descending since I was born, that is the same that way. It could be a hideout. Government can go there. We're not saying you may not tar the road or you may not, but you can, use bulldozer, use caterpillar, and create roads, accessible roads. This will make people to run away, and people can go back to farm.
Okay. So in other words, not the things you're saying right now, it's as though you're suggesting that the governor himself, should involve technocrats in this area, like you're saying, like you now, you're talking from experience, and you have this wealth of experience to add value. Hence, this concern, and you feel it's imperative to bring people that know these things very well, so that they can apply, bring in some knowledge about diversification in terms of agriculture, all of that.
Yes, because as far as Imo State is concerned, we have enough hands, manpower that can do this thing. Because most times this person does not belong to a political party, this person does not mean that that person does not have something to provide. You should search for these people. You should look for them as a government. That will help you. Like all these things that we are talking about, like this insecurity. They are in Olo or in Omoma. Those thick forests create road. We are not saying go and tie them. You can place road on those areas. From time to time, people can move in. It will reduce. We are not saying it's going to wipe away entire. It will reduce the oppression of all these criminals. It could. Then we are talking about now empowerment, because that's another area we can say there's a lot of empowerment that are going on in this country, even in Imo State, and not the way it's supposed to be. For instance, you said you want to empower graduates, or you want to empower a startup entrepreneurs.
Okay.
I think the issue is it has gone out of social community. Provide 10 persons, social villages provide 10 persons, each villages provide this. No. You could do what we call mapping. From Douglas to Wedra. You move in, look at some of the shops, this young or this medium and small sizes organization, people that are coming up. Yeah. You can go in there. You can disguise yourself. You can send your workers. They'll go there. Oh, you're doing this. That's good. Do you think that if you have 50,000 naira now, you can do more of what you're doing? Yeah. And that person can say, yes, I can do that. Okay, you record it and move. You go to another place. From your journey from number one Wedra to the last, you can see 5 young people that are into business already. Yeah. These are the people you can empower. Because we said it, and we have been saying it, that every business started like one-man business, even that of Dangote and all the rest of them. It is when business continue growing that you begin to, add more subsidiaries, companies into that your business. So that is a purely we're not. We want to empower this thing. They will those every person will come at the end of the day, take the money and go away. That's another area you can. You could say, okay, people that have started, people that are also into business already. Somebody is in business, somebody is running an agricultural firm, or somebody has a smaller business center, or somebody has a barber shop. He doesn't have a generator, he doesn't have this. You go directly to his shop. Before you move to Douglas, move to Wedra, move to Olu Road, move to all these areas, you'll be able to pick 100 persons.
Yes.
And out of these 100 persons that are already in the business already, that are into the business already, there is no how 80% of them will not do well. And in doing that, by next year, they can employ 5 persons. In doing that, they have reduced the pressure of people pestering government for paid work. They can start creating jobs, pay themselves, and pay the other persons. From there, gradually, the business will grow. These are areas I think that government can create enabling environment to make sure that we reduce this high cost of living.
Okay, just recently we learned that Owerri IKOKU Federal College of Education has increased their school fees, and there has been this uproar, like, that this is a federal school, why would they increase their school fees? And then I think the SUG president was contacted. And he gave his own reasons. He said that the fees was as a result of some of the structures that that are to be set up in school, like the roads and then the hostels and all of that. And they were like, is there no third fund, tertiary education trust fund to come into this? Why would they be taxing the students, adding those monies in their school fees for them to do that? And they've been talking, and they've been talked seriously up and down. So I don't know if you are aware. Would you say something as regards that, or maybe you're not aware?
Thank you for that question. The time you were reading my citation, you talked about student union, and I'm sure that I was a financial secretary, and we know how we functioned those days.
Okay.
It's quite different from what we are seeing today in higher institutions when we talk about SUGs. There should be dialogue between the management of all these higher institutions and the students. The students are one of the key stakeholders. If there are no students, there are no lecturers, there are no management. So the crop of SUG officers we are having now are just there. Maybe some of them are picked by their institution management.
Okay.
Some of them they don't even know what they are going there for. But when you have the student in mind, you dialogue. Why are you adding school fees? Look at what our counterparts in other states are collecting. The same federal institution or the same state institution, they are collecting this. Why our own should be more than this? If you are saying infrastructure, that fund is not only developing the staff, they are also helping in putting up all these structures. The third fund says that if you do this and we know that the money we have given to you, put it in use, we'll give you another.
Yes.
That is why you see some stagnation in some schools, because they cannot account the first money disbursed to them. Therefore, that fund refused to disburse another one. It's not the duty of the students to build infrastructure, to build classroom, to repair roads and all that. And this is a federal institution. So government, and at the same time, like all this I was saying, the increase in school fees. If the federal government is not aware of it, there are so many ways of circulating information these days. Social media and whatever. You see, you keep on sharing until it gets to the right hand of the minister or whatever. So if the Minister of Education is not comfortable with that, I'm sure the management of these schools cannot carry it on. So they are aware. Either they are aware and they don't want to talk, or they are aware it's the right thing. Okay. So I'm sure the students should not do anything funny, because I am sure there is no how you can send any message today. In the next few seconds, it will go over the whole world, and these people on authority will also see it. Okay,
thank you. That's a very wonderful approach to this question, and I would believe that the right thing should be done, because still on the high cost of living is really biting out of parents. Everybody keeps lamenting, and so I think reversing it will help ameliorate the sufferings of people and all of that. Okay, before we wrap up, what's your advice in all this? What are those words of wisdom from you that you think that you will say and it would be helpful to the people and to even the government, everybody, as regards high cost of living in Nigeria and Imo State?
Yes, I have, in conclusion, I have 3 points. One is the consumers, because let's look at that of the house rent now. If a landlord says, my house is this, and virtually every consumer or whoever that has housing problem say, I can't pay 500,000, I can't pay this, I can't pay that, and people keep on saying that, you see that the landlord will be forced to go down on his price.
Yes.
It's only when we know our right as a consumer. Then on the other side, those offices or those producers or suppliers of all these goods and services should be very kind enough. The only money that you can make as profit is those ones you make genuinely. Those ones that are normal profit. You rob off somebody and you think that those monies will help you. It will not. So if you get this good, say you get a product at 100 naira, you can use 30 naira, 40 naira, 50 naira to sell it, not going for ×2. If the side of the government also, they need to really diversify in agriculture. Okay? Because in doing that, a lot of people will go. Not saying we agriculture. Let it be there. Let us see tractors. Let us see a warehouse. They say this one is stocked with fertilizers. These ones are stocked with improved varieties. And they'll be making announcements on Orient and all these other channels. If you need this, go to this. Farming season now is coming up.
Yeah.
Go to this place, this is where you get it, this is where you get this. This is when, by the time government start doing that, and you see that in doing that, people will get fertilizers cheap, farm implement, all these improved varieties at a cheaper rate. It's going to reflect on the product they will say, because when you put this, use these improved varieties, your yield is going to be very large.
Yeah.
And in doing that, you have assets to sell and excess profit to make from the quantity you have produced.
Wow.
So in doing that, and also, I want to also hammer on the issue of this education we are talking about.
Okay.
There is another thing I observe in Imo State, showmanship, what we call conspicuous consumption.
Okay.
You want to do this in business, and Mr. A is doing it, even when you can't afford it.
Okay.
I want my child to go to social school because your neighbor's child is going there. Cut your coat according to your size.
Wow.
Even in my family, we decided that paying school fees of our children can never be trouble. We can put them to where we can afford to pay. So don't, because your neighbor has done this, you want to put your child in. Even when you cannot get it. In doing that, you are going to now increase your house rent. You're going to increase the price of goods you're selling in order to meet up. We should put our coat according to our size.
I get your logic. Wow. It's been a wonderful time with you, Dr. Kingsley Eneremadu. Very, very prolific lecturer, educationist, very much in the building. You've said it all. He said a whole lot, and I think you've gotten the expository part of all what he said. And the high cost of living, I think, you haven't seen this. It will, in a way, be reduced. Having to follow some of the principles he mentioned on the show. Well, very interesting. And I think the government should do something about this. I just want to say this, very, very important. You should look into this, just like the way Dr. Kingsley just said. And let's not forget the fact that Dr. Kingsley is a lecturer in IKOKU Federal College of Education, and in the Department of Business Education. Very, very imperative. Well, don't forget that you can always view this show on Owerri 59 start times 113, just like the way you're doing, and likewise on YouTube. Kindly search for Ugo Pluto Imo World. Virtually, when you get there, you see past videos and other episodes of this program, Views and Thoughts. And then always stay abreast, because we'll be bringing various packages, and if it calls for, I will still have him on the show, because he's so loaded with marketing principles and all of that. Very, very imperative and interesting. Thank you very much for seeing us as we bring to you next time a very interesting package on the show, Views and Thoughts. Let's keep viewing and let's keep thinking and thinking positively. My name is Ugo Chuku Uba, and it's a wrap right now.